Okay, good morning to everyone. Today we are going to get into the science behind fasting. This workshop is a long pending workshop. I have been talking about it, and today finally, we are in that workshop. So fasting is, you know, one of the common practice that either someone is regularly doing yoga or not, but they have been going through some fasting, right? In their lifetime, they have practiced sometime or they did it, somehow, maybe because of some occasion, maybe some festival is there, you're doing puja, you did fasting. But the fasting is one of the science, the yogics inside, so Ayurveda and yoga or naturopathy, wherever you go, not only in, the Hindus, but it is in all the religion. The fasting is the common practice. And it has, it is very much affecting our body, our health. It's all about like how we evolve, how we improve, and the way of actually keeping yourself healthy. So there are a lot of things in this, but also we should understand the science. Because like if we are not understanding it, if we are not following the rule, if we are not, you know basically getting into like how it is affecting your body, how it is affecting your health, how is it not only affecting your physical but also mental and emotional health, then it's kind of like we may do mistakes. And mistakes, see, I mean, nature is something which always make you uncomfortable. It will not make you comfortable. Okay, it's like always challenges are there. In general, what we feel like right now, see, if you are in comfort, you basically, look for the comfort. But the only way to improve yourself, progress in your life, is getting uncomfortable. So nature will keep teaching you. There are so many, season is changing. Sometimes you get sick, the cough, cold, fever, all these happens with the body. I mean, you have some food which is not suiting your body. Some of food are suitable for your body. So this is all comes under the fasting concept. Because like we as a human, I mean, see, like we do not have food 24 into 7, right? Sometimes we are not having food, but the food is in the digestion. So fasting is something that we have to understand, from doing 1 hour of fasting to 24 hour, and so on. It's all in there. So we need to understand the mechanism, the concept, and the science behind it. That's why we have, organized this workshop. And what I feel like, each and everyone should understand this. Okay, this is the easiest way of being healthy. If someone is very busy, or let's say someone don't want to do anything, if they just master the fasting, it will be enough for them to be healthy. But to improve, definitely they have to do other stuff like asanas, pranayam, the other practices are there. But the fasting is something that itself will keep you healthy. Okay, now moving next. So today our agenda will be very limited, but it is very deep. And what I also believe is like in one session, I cannot cover each and everything about the fasting, but I'll try to cover most important points so that it will be helpful for you guys. Later on, in detail about the fasting, probably I'll look for, I'll probably create a course where you can actually go into it and you can craft your fasting way of doing fasting, and probably you'll try to master how you can actually utilize this tool for your health and for your well-being. So today we'll be covering like overview, then we'll try to understand the science behind fasting, the type of fasting technique, and we'll take Q&A. We'll go for Q&A, question and answer. See, like in our ancient scripts, there are so many things they have been talking about the fasting, and it's not about only some one or two scripts, but if I go back, or let's say if I just go through all the scripts, each and every script, or let's say the book or collection of this, teachings, they have all talking about the fasting. Fasting is in, yoga. It is in Upanishad. It is in Ayurveda. It is in naturopathy. It is in modern science. So everywhere you will find the fasting, it will be common in all the religions. Okay, it is in Tao, Shinto, Buddhism, Jainism, Muslims, Hindu, Sikh. all these religions, they also believe in fasting. Okay, I mean, so that's why, I mean, there is a sloka called Ahar Suddha Sattva Suddha. Okay, this is the fundamental of fasting. What they're saying is, if you can purify your food, you have purified everything. Okay, everything in the sense, everything, all the layer, physical, mental, and emotional layer. The objective of doing fasting is purifying the five element. Okay, we have five element. One is earth, water, fire, air, and sky. These five elements. So purifying the five element is the main objective of doing fasting. As you move from bottom to top, bottom means earth element. It's an order. So earth element at the bottom, then water element based on the density. As it is getting lighter, it is getting less denser, it will be moving up on the pyramid. Okay, so the food, I mean, basically the earth element is the most dense element. Okay, its density is higher than all the elements, so it will be at the bottom. If you move in this pyramid from bottom to top, you'll find the element is getting lighter, and the capability of holding energy will be getting more. So it's like a reverse density. If there is high density, less energy, less density, high energy, capability of holding the energy. That's what I'm talking here, right? So purifying these elements, five elements, and we'll see the science behind it, means like how these elements, how this fasting and how your health are correlated. Okay. And then fasting, if you look at the effect of fasting, which modern science, medical science also have proved that fasting is a therapy. There is one concept, intermittent fasting, is very famous these days. But it's not, I mean, it's not like we have discovered right now, but we have been doing it. And not only one way of doing fasting, we have multiple way of doing fasting. It based on the personality. Also, like in basically in our ancient science, especially in the yoga and ayurveda and naturopathy, we believe like each and every individual is unique. So we can't keep one practice for all. We need to figure it out, the fundamentals, so that people, the practitioners can discover their own way of doing fasting. We have been strong believer of that. Create a fundamental and give it to individuals. Let them discover it for themselves. Let them customize it for themselves. Then only it is gonna be. It's an art science. We are learning an art when you will be doing it. Okay. So how long you should do? 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours, which is suitable for you. When you should do the early morning or midday or the evening, how you should be doing it. You should be drinking water, or you should be lemonade water, or salt will be useful, or whatever the honey will be useful in the water. I mean, so these all questions will be answered based on the individual personality. So once you will understand how, what, and when, then you can figure it out what is good for you and how much good for you. See, there is a one, sloka which says like, Ati Sarvarta Varjate. So Ati Sarvat Varjate means like too much is always dangerous, or it is restricted. It is basically prohibited. You should not do anything too much. But what is proper for you? Like Samayak Yoga Uchyate, what in Gita, Krishna saying like Samayak, proper. What is yoga? He said keep things proper, which is called yoga. Means the best practice is like, as like when you cook, what happens, you try to put all the ingredients in a proper quantity. It's not like you're putting something too much, like let's say putting salt too much. What will happen? It will not be, I mean, you will not like it. But if you keep the right ratio, it will taste you, it will be tasty, and you will enjoy it. Similarly, in the practices also, you need to understand the right composition for you. You need to figure out the right ratio for you. You need to figure it out, like what is suitable for you. Then only you can do it. So then when we're talking about the fasting is a therapy or cure for anything, I mean anything in the sense, even though these days the medical science have proved the fasting is helpful in cancer treatment. Okay, people who are doing fasting are less, I mean they'll be less, I mean they'll be less affected by anything. Yeah, so their health, and they can maintain their health and well-being. So moving next. So now just let's come on the science behind fasting. So when I'm talking about the science, behind the fasting, before that, I would like to cover few things which are most important in our practical aspect. Like you should be knowing, like our body is made of 5 elements, and all these the core at I mean the core of these 5 elements are prana, energy. So if the energy is getting basically, if the element is getting denser, like the earth element, it will be very hard for you to extract prana out of it. But if you're moving up on top, the sky element, it will be easy to absorb that prana shakti from that. So one thing is energifying yourself and then purifying yourself. Okay. It is also easy to purify, which is less denser, than purify the more denser, right? Because like it more denser element, the impurity will be hard to extract. You need high power. I mean, you need to heat it up more than the less denser. So that way, if you understand, like what will happen. So if you have to purify it, it will be easy to purify at the less denser and the higher. I mean, let's say sky element, then the air element, and then the fire element and air element, and sorry, fire element and water element, and then earth element. So now, to what we are understanding here in the science behind the fasting is, the first we need to understand about the upattikaya. Okay. So this is very new term, right? Upattikaya. So you should be
Yeah,
knowing that,
I
right?
think
Yeah.
we did not mention this anytime in our sessions also.
Upattikaya, yes, because like this is something which will confuse you. That's why we have to understand it in detail, and then I can mention it. Okay. This term, it's called upattikaya. Okay. In yogic science, I mean, you should, if you're noting down, or probably like you should, keep it somewhere, upattikaya. This is completely different and, very deep science. You can call it like one of the subject. So yoga is not a subject. Basically, yoga is kind of, there are multiple subjects inside the yoga. Okay. So in our Sarir Rachana, or like the body formation, upattikaya is one of the important part. Okay. As like in the medical science, we talk about the glands, which is most important, the nervous system that we know, the nerves, and especially the cardiovascular system we have, which is spread throughout the body. Similarly, in yoga, there are nadis. Okay, so 72,000 nadi is there inside your body. Nadi is something which is called channel, which flow, where the energy flows throughout your body. And all these channels are connected to three major nadis. It's called Ira, Pingla, and Susumna. Ira will be left, Pingla will be right, and Susumna at the center. Or you can say Surya Nadi, Chandra Nadi, or Brahma Nadi. So Surya Nadi to the right side, Chandra Nadi to the left side, and Brahma Nadi will be in the center. When the Surya Nadi and Chandra Nadi get diffused, in the sense when they both are active, then Brahma Nadi appears. Otherwise, it will not be appearing because it's a Brahma Nadi, right? So it can appear and disappear. So in the yogic science, what we believe, like these upattikayas are actually not, or you can say the combination of these nadis. Now you'll be getting it, because I have been talking about the knots some of the time, where I mean these nadis, they form a knot. They get somewhere, like they each overlap each other. They sometimes get stuck because it is spread throughout the body. See, in our body, there will be appearing some of the parts, some of the different part of our body. I mean, this is still the subject of research. I mean, so medical science still, they don't have any specific knowledge about this. They have not get it. There is no. I mean, they have been trying to understand this, but it is already going on. So the research are going on. But to understand it in detail, you should be understanding, like the yogic science have already explained it. And now I'll tell you a few points about the upattikaya. Like there are many upattikas. Out of that, there is one upattika called Indika. Indica. So the Indica Upattika, it's majorly, I mean, you have seen people being more energetic, pro-energetic, right? I mean, you if ask them to sit down, it will be very hard for them. Especially you will see in the kids. Okay. So Indica Upattika is making all this behavior. Okay. So it is also like they can't be stable. I mean, they can't be, silent. You can't make them, you know, uh, sit somewhere. They'll be jumping here and there. They'll be thinking multiple things at the same time, and you'll feel like, oh, this guy seems like puzzled completely. I mean, or these guys seems like proactive. I mean, he's trying to do everything, which is not easy. Okay, and they'll not be
You're,
silent.
you're talking about kids or generally anybody?
It is generally in everyone, but the kids will be more feeling it, and they will be more experiencing it. Indica will be active more in the kids, but in general, it is not like only kids. Even though general, even people who are at their like 50s or 60s, you will find them also being like more active. Even they can't move more, but they'll be like you completely in everything. Like they can't sit silent and peacefully. You'll feel like they are in that and that. They'll be getting engaged in multiple things. If you go, you just pass through them, they can't sit and let you go. They'll ask you something suddenly. So this indica making them do all this. Okay, then the other upattika, it's called deepika, right? We know deepika. It's a common name, but this is also one of the indica, sorry, one of the upattika. So the Deepika, what it will do, it will keep you more aggressive. Some of the people are there, it's still very hard, even though you teach them how to control their aggression, but it's very hard. They can experience that heat. They can control, but they can experience the heat internally. No, they are getting tampered. They know, like, so people, they accept it, right? Some of the people, I'm so tempered. They know it, but they can't change it. So knowing it, controlling it is a one part, but changing it is a different part. This fasting can actually help you to overcome that. Okay, so that the basically the upattika name is deepika, which makes people get aggressive. Okay, it's also like they can feel the heat inside. Okay, and whatever you give them, it will be it will be easily digest for them. So this Deepika do all this. See, the Upattikas are not bad or not good. It's based on the individual and their state. If there are so many impurities inside the body, the dark side, the bad side of the Upattika will be more dominating. If they have purified themselves, the good side of Upattika will also come out. Your body and Annamaya course. I'm again, bringing the another topics, but it is important to understand. Our body is divided in 5 layers: Annamaya course, Pranmaya course, Manomaya course, Vigyanmaya course, and Anandamaya course. The body you see here, the layer you see here, the physical layer, is combination of this physical body plus Annamaya course. Okay, so the Annamaya course is not Annamaya course. The body is limited till Annamaya course only. So the some part of Annamaya course is bounded with the body. That's why you are experiencing the whole conscious you in the body. I can say like the only 1% is inside the body. All these 99% is in deep. So that's the again, like, it's very deep science. So I mean, basically, there are a lot of things still we don't know, and we have not explored it. The only 1% we see right now, and we are still struggling to manage that 1%. These upattikas are kind of knot which keeps this you and your annamaya course binded, connected with the physical body. Okay, that's why these upattikas are also important. There are significance. We can't, if I just not unknot every upattika, then you will be leaving your body. So the body will be separated from you. This is what the yogic science says. So now what we should do? We should need to master all these upattikas. There are many upattikas. Okay. So based on the research, there are 96 kind of upattika. Okay, and also, like, whatever name I'm taking you right now is they are the type of upattika. Okay, the kind of upattika. In that there are sub kinds. Some of the combination of that only making all the behavior. So it's a very deep science. I'm just trying to make you understand. That's why I said, like, the one complete, I think like the course need to cover the whole system of the fasting, but it's important to actually understand, like I'm taking you over to that. Okay, then there is a Chandrika Upattika. Basically, it's majorly known for the beautifying. I mean, so if Chandrika is not balanced, even though having good features, but person will not look beautiful or handsome. Okay, if you can just purify it, they will start looking, beautiful and handsome. So what happens with that? It's like Chandrika Upattika is connected with the moon. So now I'll come back on specific thing. So even like what I mean, so the upattikas are also affecting reproductive system. Okay, so like the people who are suffering, like I mean, they have to go through the treatment and all, still like they're not able to conceive and all. They can also overcome their issue if they understand this fasting concept and the upattika. It's a very deep science. The Upattika is completely deep science. The practices are there to overcome, to purify these Upattika. That's why I kept the science behind it, purifying the Upattika. This is one of the way of purifying it. It's not the only way of purifying the Upattika. Okay, there are the other ways. But this fasting is one of the easiest way and the fastest way of overcoming these things. Upattikas are changing your behavior. It's like changing you. If you want to change yourself, you want to improve yourself, if you want to evolve yourself, cure yourself, it's all you can done by the upattika. Somehow the asanas pranayam is also affecting your upattika. Okay, so all the diseases, illness, suffering, it's all because of the upattika. The cause is upattika. So balance it. And so right now what I'm talking about is the Sarir Shastra, or can say the when this is one part of the yogic science, what we call it, anatomy of the body. Okay, in the yogic science. So anatomy is very deep in the yogic science. The fundamental is start from the chakras and then the 72,000 nadis. I mean, we rarely talk about the muscles, bone, and all this. It's like very limited. You can say like it's a one or two chapter of that. But the entire book is based, I mean, dedicated to the more internal system of that. Okay. So what I said right now is like there are 96 I can't cover here itself. Like I can't explain every upattika and their effect, but I am just trying to keep few of them, which is important. I would love to share you one more thing about the upattika, because like yeah, just now most of, I mean, women, they have did one Karwa Chauth puja, and so if you understand the concept, then it will become very easy, like what happens basically, the last topic in the same science behind it, so I'm explaining the science. Planetary movement or tithi, it's important, like when you should do fasting and what is the effect of that. Okay, so yes, so basically we should understand one thing is like there are muhurt, there are month, there are days which are important for doing fasting. Okay. So basically there are 6 fire in the body. Okay. So like one is called Usma, Bahubrich, Havadi, Rohita, uh, Atpatta, and Vyati. They are the 6 Agnis, 6 fire in the body. Each fire dedicated to one season. We have 6 seasons. Okay. So what happens? These fire will be getting regulated with the season only. That's why we say have seasonal food, have seasonal fruits, do some fasting. Every season will be having some of the fastings. Okay. So this is all to regulate that. If we can regulate that, we can actually treat our upattika, we can purify our upattika. Okay, that's why. So right now, like what happens basically, so now Uttarayan, Dakshinayan, Uttarayan, Dakshinayan, the movement of sun for us, but it is actually movement of earth. Sometimes the earth goes far from the sun, then it's come close to the sun. That's why it's called Uttarayan and Dakshinayan. In general, to understand, Uttarayan means like uh, north, and so basically like south and west, let's say. So if the sun is moving through the south part, more to the south, it's like Dakshinayana, and then opposite to the Uttarayan. Okay, so it's all basically affect us, because like these six Agnis, they are also regulated with the season, and season is regulated with the movement of Earth, right? And if you look at basically not only the Earth, but this movement of Chandrama, like okay, moon, like it's in every 15 days what happening, it is getting shorter or getting, it's like one part of that is getting disappear and then appearing, right? So the movement of moon as well. Then so the Surya and all this is affecting us. It is affecting our this Agni. So recently what happened, this Karva Chauth, the day, the Tithi is actually regulating your Chandrika, Upattika. Okay. So the Chandrika Upattika is also basically known for, it is also known for basically, the better combination, better, what to say, like, a better understanding between the partners. Okay, this is also regulating that part of the behavior of the body. So that's why these are related to those fastings. Okay, we have actually, based on this science, we have, we have been celebrating our festivals, or we have been, celebrating all these occasions and all. Okay, now coming to the one most important thing in this part is energification. Okay, and this I actually love, the energification. The science is like, I can explain you a lot about it, but I just tried to keep it short. That's why I kept some notes also. But the energification is most important thing in that, because like even to you understand the science, but what is the use if you can't use it, right? So when we are, so if you figure out the whole calendar, the Hindi calendar, or let's say, our basically the traditional calendar, the Vikram Samvat, you'll find all specific important dates based on the movement of the planetary movement. And that day, what kind of fasting we should be doing. Now, coming to the scientific way of doing fasting. So those way of doing fasting have been there, and probably we all have been copying it. But as we don't know about ourselves, what will be suitable for me and how I should do it, then it will be very hard, because but you can't master it. You don't know the technique of doing it, but you know the whole system, right? If you don't know how to operate it, but you know the system, if you have a system but you can't operate it, what is the use of it? Probably it will backfire, right? So that's what happens. I mean, we do the fasting, but if you don't understand it, it will be a problem. So what is main and important, main objective of doing fasting is energify yourself and purify your upattika. How to energify? Purification is okay. I do understand. Like, I'll do the fasting and then it will purify. But how I should do the fasting and how I can energify myself is the most important thing. So now you have to divide the whole day in three parts: morning, midday, and evening. Forget about the night, because night you'll be sleeping, you will not be aware of anything. Okay. Generally, we get, unaware of things in night. So the morning, completely purification should happen before energification. Okay. So, the bowel movement should happen properly. Your bladder should be empty, clean, do it cleaning properly. Okay. And also, like, take a proper bath, rub your skin, keep yourself light, so that when, because like you're not having food. And if you remember, I was talking about the pyramid, the bottom, the elements, the bottom is denser, going top is less denser. So when we are not having food, the entire body, especially the stomach, that is in rest, the digestive system in rest. Where the digestive system in rest, what is the main use of digestive system? To digest the food, which is in form of, is in actually the physical form, which is more denser, which is more in the earth element than in the sky element. Now, as their food is not there, then what is there? Food is denser, which is earth element. If the earth element is not there, you're not digesting, so the body will be absorbing, will be surviving more on the sky element. It will be moving up. It will start mastering the way of absorbing, taking the elements, energy from the top element, or let's say the element which are available. So your body will start relying more on the sky element, on the air element, on the water element, on the fire element than earth element. In during fasting, also in the yoga, you know about the pratyahar. Okay. Pratyahar means alternative food, alternative diet, alternative intake. So what is the alternative intake? We all have been having food, the roti, chapati, rice, curries, all this we have been having. Now what we are having? We are having air. What we having? We are having sunlight. So our body will slowly evolve. It will start taking these pure energy without going for a hard and tough process of absorbing these energy from the food. It will be absorbing from the nature. Slowly it happens. Body adopts. The good part of human body is it understand the adoption. It adopt, it improve, it evolve itself. It's a natural process. Okay. To survive, you will be experiencing a strong hunger. But this during the fasting, this hunger will be eating your diseases, the causes of the diseases. Okay. It will be heating up your entire body because the fire is there, there's nothing, then it will be burning whatever is available, and it will be keeping safe your body. But all the unnecessary impurities will be getting burned. This is the science, this is the concept behind the energification. So once these causes are done, you have already purified yourself. Now the energification will happen. Now the body will start absorbing energy from the nature, from the air, from the water. Okay. Water is also one of the important element during the fasting. There the way of fasting, I said, right? It's not like you're keeping yourself completely without food and without water. Okay, not directly jumping on the air element. Slowly will go on top of the pyramid, but one by one step at a time, one step at a time. I'm not so in during energification, let's say you had food, but the food was very less. Now the fire has burned these food, have absorbed proper as much as possible the elements and the vitamins, minerals in your body. Now what it will does, it will start extracting the energy out of the food. Now there is not enough food to burn. This fire is there itself. Now it will start converting. It will start asking body to suck energy from the nature. Your skin will start absorbing energy from the air. It will start acting like the solar panel. Cells will start absorbing energy from the air, from the sunlight. This is what happens. But also, as like the days are important. In if you correlate the sunlight and the planets, the graha. So there are 9 graha, Rahu and Ketu. Leave the Rahu and Ketu. All these 7 graha are there in the 7 colors of, they are related to the 7 colors of the sunlight. So the body will be able to absorb those colors from the sun. And also based on the days, these colors are dominating. Okay. The sun, sun will be dominating on Sunday, that is today. If you're doing fasting today, your Surya Grah will be dominating. It will be active more. It will be helping you more because the body was absorbing that. How it helps? These Upattika will be getting, trigger. They will be getting purified. They will get active. And then it will change. It will do some changes and in your behavior, in your thought process, in your emotional layer, all this. These Upattika are affecting your all the 3 layers. And it get affected by the sunlight, the lights, the energy. Okay. So this is how basically the whole system of fasting works. Okay. So energification means absorbing the energy inside and utilizing it. This is how the energification works. Each and every cell should be getting absorbing energy. And then slowly this will be impacting the other part of your body, your behavior and your emotions. Moving next, the type of fasting. Okay. So see, like majorly there are 5 type of fastings. Okay, 5. One is called pacha, which is the easy. I mean, See, some of the fasting type of fasting will be easy for you, some of will be hard for you. Okay, but these type of fasting based on the requirement or and the need of the body. Okay. So, I mean, is it okay? You guys are able to actually pronounce it, read it? It's a Sanskrit word.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Ananas.
yeah, anas. So it's called anas.
Okay.
Yeah, anas. So I'll read. So first is pachak. Okay. Then second is called sodak. Third is samak. Fourth is anas. And fifth one is called pavak. Okay. Pachak, sodak, samak, anas, and pavak. These are the five type of fasting. So basically, these are the Sanskrit and the Sanskrit words. So the name itself keeping the whole definition of it. Okay, pachak. You're getting it somehow. Pachak, improving the digestive system. Okay. So the pachak is majorly for improving your digestive system. So what it does, basically, you have to sift your food from hard to digest to soft to digest food. Okay. So in that fasting, you should take only food which is easily digestible, highly liquefied food, or probably you can have very light food. So light does not mean less. Okay. Light means easily digestible, like khichdi. Okay. Dalia, dal. These are easily digestible food. Should have pachak those days. So let's say I have started doing fasting. I want to do fasting on Sunday. Will this help me to overcome my upattika? Yes. I'm doing fasting, but I have started. No, I'll get into the pachak. Okay. And maybe I have just started, but not necessarily need to start with the pachak. Probably I can go with the sudha or maybe the samak based on the requirement. So I'm doing pachak because I want to first work on my digestive system and also cure most of the issues that I have been having. So that's why I'm starting with the fast pachak. Okay. So even if you're having food, it will be called as fasting because it was highly easily digestible food. Then second is called Sodhak. So Sodhak is basically for curing from the diseases. Okay. Especially like in the naturopathy, if someone gets fever, what happens? These doctors, naturopathy doctors, or if you consult the BMS, okay, who are practicing the Ayurveda and naturopathy, they'll ask you to do fasting, not have any food. Let your body eat those diseases, those issues. Okay, that's called Sodak. In Sodak, we don't eat food. We just do fasting. In general, we have been doing the Sodak. Whenever sometime you think of fasting, what happens? You only think of not having food, or probably you'll be having fruits, right? So if not having food or maybe fruits, it's just a mix of multiple fasting, which is not good. Should follow the rule of the fasting. So one is pachak. If you're having food, light food. If you're doing soda, go for the soda. Okay, not having food. Okay. Then third one is samak. Samak is basically more on the mental part. Okay, like having keeping mon, doing mon is also one of the kind of fasting. Okay,
What is
and
that? Doing?
mon, silence.
Oh, okay.
Mon, silence. Yeah, practicing silence. Okay, that is called samak. So basically, samak is for working on someone who is actually going through some of mental challenges. Probably for them, this samak will be very helpful. They are the way of doing it. I'm just explaining a little bit in brief about the samak. Okay, now the next is anas. So anas is basically this is the fourth one that we should do whenever we are doing puja. This is for gaining the energy, the spiritual blessings and all. All the others are was more related to you. Now this here you are involving supreme power, supreme energy. Okay. So the rule, code of conducts are most important thing there. I mean, based on your traditions, what you have been following. But the science part, keep it apart, side. But the rule and regulation, like you should not touch this or that, or keep yourself pure. I mean, all this should be following in that anus. Okay. So that is more for the divine energy and attracting the divine energy and getting the divine blessings and God blessings. Okay, now power is something which is we do for prasyatap. Prasyatap. I mean, if you have guilty, I mean, sorry, if you have guilt, if you are regretting of something, you did some bad or by mistake or without, I mean, knowingly or unknowingly, but the guilt is there itself. To overcome that, okay, like regret is there. Everyone should be, overcoming their regret and all. To do that, we should go for the power. So the power, so these are the type of, in that also there are the different way of doing it that I have already told you, right? So that we will definitely take in detail, but right now I'm just giving a little bit brief about it. So the for doing power, there is called, uh, you know, so its practice is actually Chandrayan, the power. So Chandrayan Vrat is also known as Vrat. Why we are saying Vrat? Because when you say Vrat means it's like you need to follow code of conduct, rules and regulation. So this is one of way of doing fasting. The Chandrayan is one of the way of doing Pavak. Okay. So cutting down on your food, which is actually a mix of most of the practices, but it is well designed for the individuals who want to overcome their regret and especially and their guilt and all. So you can overcome that. So Pavak is that. It's known as like Pap Nasa. Okay, if some by mistake we did something, I mean, you will not be having any emotional baggage. You will not be having any mental obstacle for that. It will not be coming again and again. It will not be reminding you of those situations. You will be overcoming that. Okay, and this is one of the biggest challenge and the most affecting challenge in the whole Western country. They can't overcome it. It's take a lot of effort and time for them to overcome it, and still like when it's like they say what it's like something we have to live with, but this is not in our culture. This is not in our science. We believe in like we can overcome anything. Okay, so for that the power is there. So these are basically the major 5 type of fasting that we have been talking right now. I will definitely discuss in detail about it. So the Pachak, in Pachak fasting, what we do basically, we don't leave food. We keep having food, but we try to cut down. I mean, we try to make it more highly digestible slowly. Let's say you have been taking 3 times meals throughout the day. You'll be taking 3 times, but you will be changing the nature of the food. Not for three at the same time, but probably you'll start with one meal. Let's say the morning, highly digestible, or maybe like you started taking dalia or khichdi, and you're taking it as a fast. Keep in your mind, it's not like the alternative food you're having. Mental and emotional layer should also be aligned with the physical activities what you are doing right now in fasting. That's the most important and the fundamental of the fasting. You mentally, emotionally, and physically should be doing the same thing in the fasting. If you are doing fasting and having food, but which is highly digestible, and only one time you're starting changing, this is the easiest way of getting into this science. I mean, utilizing this science. Do it, but keep it highly digestible. Okay, that way you can start with the pachak, and then slowly one by one you're overcoming, you're probably changing it, which will help you to overcome the easily, and sooner you will experience a change in your body. You will be overcoming. If someone is having constipation, for them the pachak is really helpful, very helpful. Okay, someone is having trouble with their digestive system, they can cure themselves, heal themselves, treat themselves by just doing pachak. What they have to do, change the nature of food. Not for the everyday, at least that will come. How long we should do fasting, when we should do fasting. Like these occasions will come, you will definitely do fasting those days. But can we do it in the regular manner? We can. Because like sun is always there, its rays will be there, it will be dominating. You can energify yourself based on the days also. Like so Tuesday, Mangal Graha will be more dominating. Why? Because the rays there in the sunlight will be dominating on earth. So that day, if you're doing fasting, your body will be absorbing the sunlight, and that color will be dominating, so your body will be observing that color, and that will change all the different sort of system, and or I mean, which is, I mean, the body is has, and also that will be changing, and doing change in your behavior and your thought and your emotional layer, which will impact definitely. So to understand, make it easy, the science easy, we named it as a Mangal and Grah, but the Grah means like it's a nature having pros and cons, like how it works. So, but to explain all system, the whole process and the system and the science, we just tagged it with a name, certain terminology. That's why this Grah is actually terminology. We should not be fearing of, we should not have fear of it. We should understand this is a terminology, we need to overcome, master it, like that. So Pachak is very helpful in that way. Now, so during fasting, it's so like slowly you're cutting down, you're changing the nature of the food from highly digestible. Let's say, what is next? If all the food, all the meals are highly digestible, what is next? Now you can shift to water. One time, two time you're having food, one time you're having water. You started with one time highly digestible. Now, both the time of highly digestible, the three times, third time is also highly digestible. Now, slowly you're working out one by one step at a time. Now, the first one, now highly digestible. Now, from there, from food, you're shifting the one time to the water, lemon water. Or if you are feeling like, this highly digestible food is making you, feel like yeah, the less energy in your body or your weakness, you can mix honey, pure honey, mix in water and drink it. You will not feel like you'll faint or something. You'll be having energy. The honey is the high source of, energy, and it's easily digestible in the body itself. Okay. Now, sodak, in the sodak, what you should do is, basically, because like, sodak, what we are doing in sodak, we are basically working out on ourselves. The food is there. Keep the food light itself. The pachak is one way where we're not more working on the mental and emotional part. We're working on the food part to improve our digestive system. But the soda, there you are also taking care of your mind, the thoughts. So take rest. Don't get too much in hard work, or let's say physical work. You need to get rest, and you need to have some time with yourself alone. Okay. So there you can actually work out, assessment, do self-assessment, work out on yourself. That is the Sodha. Okay. And during that Sodha pranayam, you should drink a water which is heated up and cool down. I mean, have water, only drink water in the Sodha. Okay. Heat it up to high temperature and then cool it down and then drink that water. Okay. This is what suggested, the best to have it. Here also you can use honey and lemon, whatever you want, to purify. This will also be purifying your body, but also keep in your mind not too much. How much your need and require, that much only you should intake. Then coming to the samak, which is, you remember, like sodak and samak. Now coming to the samak, in the samak part, you should take buttermilk, and you should take juice. If you are having fruits, it's all coming in the samak part. Also should definitely practice mon, I mean silence. If you are interested in doing jap, or doing some spiritual practices, or let's say like doing jap or dhyan and all, you should do in that samak. It will be very helpful okay, for the self purification. Then from samak, coming to the anas, where basically it's more for I mean, to control, to manage your grah, this anas part. So because like the sun rays will be dominating that day, so anas is basically focused on the days, which day you should do, which one is weak for you. So that day you should do the anas practice, like, and then do puja. Let's say someone, if you believe in Lord Hanuman, doing puja on Tuesday, do puja on Tuesday, follow the rules of the anas. Do fasting, do puja, get the divine blessings and all that day. Keep yourself on the fasting so that that rays will be dominating on your body. So there is a science called color therapy. In Germany, it is very famous. They have worked out on this. They have did a lot of research on this, and what they have figured it out is the sunlight is the most effective you know, practice. Sun therapy is the most effective therapy in the color therapy. Sunlight is most effective than the other lights. So that's how they have developed, but we have been having this. And like they use a color, to, treat the body. But for us, we don't need to do it because the sunlight will be dominated by one color on a specific day. Okay. So that day. So about the color, definitely I'll share in the group. Right now I can't cover it because I also have to go through specific days and the planet and the color, how it is dominating. But Anas practice is basically related to that. And then it also, because like, see, if Chandrama is there, it will be keep bringing you peace, calmness, lightness. And Mangal, which is Kathor, it's hard and it's strong, and it's also improve, I mean, it's actually make you more brave. So all these are there. So Buddha is there, which is kind of gentle and obedient, but it is also like cuff dominating. So and also the Buddha is there, which is also responsible for beauty and beauty and its attraction and all. Now Guru is there, which is mostly for the knowledge. And also in Anas you can actually master all this. Now after Anas we have Pavak, right? So basically the Pavak is we use all this. Pavak is basically, I told you, the Chandrayan Vrat, which is for Pavak. So that is the easiest way. And so now basically we are type of fasting, we are done with that. Moving to the technique. This is the five, basically this is the five thing which you should keep in mind when you're doing the fasting. Okay. One more. So drink water, plenty of water. It's not when you're doing fasting, keep drinking water. Water is having, water can absorb more energy than anything. It's most effective way of doing fasting. Have water, plenty of water when you're starting the fasting, the early stage, because you need to purify yourself completely. You need to keep yourself energetic. So you're on fasting, even you're having food, highly digestible food, but don't cut down on the water part. Okay. Keep drinking water more and more. Uh, Avoid the physical work or hard work. Avoid it because during fasting, body will not be uh, easily will take care of that. Then will actually what to say, like exhaust you. So should not get exhausted during fast. You need a lot of energy to work on yourself. Have highly digestible food whenever you're having, whatever you're having, keep it highly digestible food, light food after. Okay, this is the most important, the fourth part. Okay, so in general, what happens before fasting is not just the duration you are doing it. Pre-fasting and post-fasting is most important. Okay, how you're getting in fasting, how you're coming out of the fasting is also most important thing. Majorly all the challenges and the diseases you see, even the people have been doing fasting a lot, you will find them will be suffering with a lot physical issues or health issues, like gastric, constipation, all this. It's my personal experience, and also I did a survey on 100 people in one particular location. I have found the people are suffering more with the gastric and constipation related issues, the people who have been doing more fasting. The reason is the way of doing fasting is wrong. They don't understand it. They think like, how long? Also, okay, 12 hours, fine. After that and before that, they don't think. They keep same as it is. Okay, but getting fasting is a science. Coming out of the fasting is also science, and being in the fasting is completely science. That's why I have been telling, like, it's a science. Okay, it's like we have learned about the different way of doing fasting, but now before fasting and after fasting. So when you're getting into fasting, let's say tomorrow you have to go for fast. Today itself you have to start cutting down on your food. And also, in general, what happens? Someone is doing Navratra. Before Navratra, the one day before Navratra, they'll say, oh, from tomorrow I have to go on fasting. Today I have time. I will have whatever I will. They'll go for Golgappa, the pizza and burger and whatever they want. They'll have it as much as possible. They'll think like, okay, this will survive. They can keep contain this for the next 9 days. It's not happening. The day today I ate, tomorrow it will be done. The empty stomach will be empty. You can't store it. You can't store food in your right in yourself in your stomach. So before getting in fasting, where the next day you're gonna completely on a different routine, and now you're not preparing yourself, you're sudden change, giving change to your body. It's like you're surprising your body, especially your digestive system. Just think you're driving a car from gear 2 years, immediately getting in gear 4. What will happen? Or you have been racing in fasting. Now I'm coming back on after fasting part. You have been racing in 4, and suddenly you change to 2. What will happen? Your clutch plate will be done. Your engine will be done, isn't it? This is what happens with the body. So tomorrow you have to go in fasting, and today you are, having overloading yourself. Now body is got comfortable by digesting all these amount, and now suddenly you're giving no supply. That will make your body die. So you're giving shock to your body. Unnecessary, it will do all, it will get disturbed completely. And when it get disturbed, you know what happens. The gastric constipation and all these problems happens there itself. The wrong way of doing fasting is more dangerous than not doing fasting. Better you should not do fasting if you don't understand how to do fasting. Because like you're harming yourself, you're killing yourself. It's like, so body should not get the surprise. Always keep in your mind, surprises are not for body. Body follow a natural rule. It follow the rule of evolution. It follow a rule of going smooth and slow. It follow rule of getting in routine. This is all important. Start building the routine before getting in fasting. You started having food, but you're cutting down from the day before. Let's say I'm going to do fasting for 9 days. So probably I need to prepare myself before 9 days. That 15 days I need to prepare myself to get in the 9 days fasting. And then come back from the 9 days. I need 15 days of buffer time to come out of that zone. I can't suddenly surprise myself like I have been having food, a lot food, filling it as usual, and tomorrow no food, and then for next day, next 9 days, no food. Body, it got surprised. Now slowly started understanding the fourth and fifth day. Probably you will start experiencing a fasting. These 3 4 days was there to understand it, and you have missed those 3 important days. Now, fourth, fifth, sixth, body got comfortable. Now, seven, eight, done, nine, jumped on that. Again, surprise. No, I've just got comfortable, and now what you're doing with me? Then the whole system will be done. Next 15 days, it will be rushing. It will be repairing itself. The whole energy, everything will be there itself, done there itself. Now, and damage you already did, it will probably take another 6 months to recover from that. Body goes on smooth, slow. If you do a slow transition from the stage 1 to stage 2, body will not experience any suffering. It will be more happy, and it will give you more, smooth ride on that. So speed up, then slowly change the gear from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Follow it. It's a natural. You can't do that. Sudden can't speed up yourself, and sudden you can't take break. Okay, even your body is capable, we should not. But the driver is not safe if you're taking sudden break and sudden speed, right? Because you are driver. So mind also get confused with between like need to digest or need to not just leave it. So it will be taking all the energy and every system will be running. It will be waiting. Okay, now because like they don't understand the words now. You are thinking, but the body does not align with your thought because you are surprising. The mind and body will not be coordinating. Once you have this coordination, then you can go with any surprise. It will be happy to manage. But now should go smooth on that. So before getting in fast, prepare yourself for that. 1 2 day before, if you're going for 1 day fasting, at least 2 day buffer you should have. Start practicing cutting down on your food so that the next day when you're getting in the fasting, it will not affect. Now coming out of the fasting, do the same way. Now, so next after fasting, like you have not been having food or whatever food you have been having, from there slowly change in one time, then second time, then third time. It should not happen like just after fasting, this frying, I mean, getting puri, all the hard food like paneer, sabji, and all curries and all this all together at the same time. No, avoid that. And especially don't have tea just after fasting and empty stomach. This, in general, I know this is one of, I mean, the behavioral part of, I mean, when I did my survey, I actually figured it out. Everyone during fasting, they are having tea. What tea? Milk tea. After fasting, they are having milk tea. And then they are getting into that. That will be damaging you. No. After fasting, break your fasting with water, lemon white water, probably honey water, then slowly get in tea if you want, tulsi tea. I mean, kind of, we call it kadha, like mixed with the ginger and all. Let your body understand, let your body get ready for it. Then go with a small, highly digestible, juice, then little bit food. First time, first meal should have very less, or you can call it negligible, very less. Then second time, take rest, slowly get out of it, slowly get into it, slowly get out of it, like that. So this is the most important thing. The fourth one, focus on before and after fasting as well. Not the only fasting is important, the science, because it's a science, so be doing it. And the fifth one is keep yourself in silence. Don't speak too much during fasting. If possible, avoid talk. Keep yourself with yourself, because the moment you're doing fasting, all the divine energy is close to you because the food is not there. Now consciousness will be utilizing most of the energy which is getting invested in your digestive system. Your brain will be experiencing more energy than your stomach. Okay, I mean, there is also, your stomach is also having brain. The brain, sorry, not brain, it's a mind. A part of mind is there on the stomach. So that will not be utilizing the energy, all will be dedicated to your mind. So probably from there, a lot of things are there in your life, need to organize, regulate, and your energy, those things need your energy. So from there, these energy will be invested. So if you keep yourself silent, most extraordinary thoughts will start getting. If you keep speaking, you'll not get the thoughts because only you're utilizing the thoughts, it's already there. But once you keep yourself silent, all extraordinary thoughts will start coming there. And then you can do self-analysis. Whenever you're doing self-analysis, always keep yourself as a third party, not yourself. Because it's very hard. We don't even accept our mistakes, not even with ourselves. So it's a truth. I'm telling you, even you can be more genuine with yourself, or you can speak genuinely, but it is truth. It's a human behavior. We don't accept it, even when we are thinking, talking to ourselves, or we are doing the self analysis. So for that time, keep yourself as a third party. Take yourself out of the body. Think about like this: what your body did it, not you did it. What the society made you did it, do it, not you did it. When you start doing that, self analysis will be proper. Then you need to figure it out how you should not get influenced by the society, by the thoughts, or by any influencer outside to do those things which are not good for you. When you're doing self analysis, what you're doing, you're not thinking about the mistakes, you're thinking about, you're understanding how you are getting influenced to do those things which are not good. It's not mistakes, so not good. How you can find a way to do it, not to do it, how you find a way to overcome those challenges. So that is about the self-analysis. Do self-study means like read self-help books, techniques of doing it, so that you can overcome those challenges as well. If you're doing practicing these in during fasting, it will be more impactful than reading and doing it on the other days, because on the day of fasting, you'll be having enough energy. When you're not in the fasting, most of the energy is getting used by your uh, digestive system. Okay, these are the techniques. Now coming to the pranayam is also one of the important part during fasting, because you're not having food, you can do the pranayam. The most important two pranayams are there, which is Nadi Sodhan for the purifying your Upattikaya, and Pranakarsan to energify yourself. These two pranayams are more effective during the fasting days. Okay, other pranayams are there, but those pranayams will not be that effective as these two, and these two are enough. Okay. So Nadi Sodhan pranayam should practice, and then Pranakarsan pranayam should practice. Okay, if you want. Throughout the day, anytime you can find. Should definitely craft your routine, change. I mean, how to do fasting. You can start even every day. You can practice. The best practice is at least once in a month or twice in a month. That's how you should start. And then weekly once you can go with the fasting. Now we are here for Q&A. I think like Malika ji, you can ask your questions here. So we have Q&A. I mean, you can ask your question if you have any question regarding fasting.
So those types of fasting that you mentioned, right, are they specific to adults or kids? Kids can also do that.
Yes, it's a very good question. Yeah. I mean, this is one of, I mean, as a family, we should adopt this fasting in our lifestyle. Look at the Jains. Okay, they have adopted. I mean, not only the Jain religion, but all the religion they have some of the way of doing fasting. But we have forget those traditions. Kids, everyone should go through the fasting. Everyone should go through the fasting. First, you should teach them the Pachak fasting, which is easy for them, and then they will understand the importance of food. These days the challenges are the kids don't understand the importance of food. You understand, so you are on their back to make them have all the nutritious and the foods which are having vitamins and all. When they will go through the fasting, when they are not having food, probably they will start thinking, okay, maybe first day it will not work. They will enjoy not having food because as they don't want to have food in general. But slowly, once they'll go through this practice, slowly they'll start understanding the importance, and they'll understand the composition is important for them. They will like to try the different food, because also I have not said here, discuss about, I mean, during fasting, we should start with the aswad. Aswad means like not having sugar, not having salt as usual, even trying to cook less, I mean, which is naturally available, those kind of food you should start taking during fasting. Okay. So if you cut down the salt and sugar, believe me, these kids will understand the importance of food. They're only enjoying because there is a taste, and which is of the masala or maybe of the salt and sugar. But once they'll start tasting it, the natural taste of these foods, they'll start understanding. They'll start liking it, because their tongue will be more than you. Their tongue will be telling them more about what they need to have. Okay. So their like will become their need. Their like and their need will be same. So your job is done. This is what you want them to have, right? So we need to train them with that. Give them without sugar, without salt. Let them taste the natural taste of the food. So their tongue will remind it. They will remind, the body will remind them through the tongue.
Okay.
Hi, this is Abhinaya.
Yeah.
I have a few questions. One will be for women during menstrual cycles. Do we have to fast differently, or can we follow the same method that we used to do it?
No, definitely. It's a good question. So those days, definitely you should do a different fasting. Should not go on the hard fasting. Should be on the soft fasting. I mean, the pacha kind of. Okay. Not having food will make you, feel more, weakness and all. So should have food, but like, I mean, you could figure it out. Like how much you should have food, but have food. Not only fruits, always keep in your mind. See, every fruit is not suitable for you, not in every season. Okay. Especially in those days, body is already going through a one fasting, purifying. Okay. The body is changing a lot inside. So those days, avoid these fastings. Better you go for the pachak and have, enough water. Don't cut down on water. Also,
Okay, all right.
yeah, also one practice you can I mean, you can definitely do that. One thing is like uh ginger, boil ginger, small, piece of ginger in water, and you can have that, like a tea during that. It will be help a lot. Yeah. Any other question?
And one more is, can we do fasting as in on everyday basis, on a daily basis, or only on a particular days in a week?
It's a good question. See, every day is not as advisable doing fasting, because like too much of anything is not good. So weekly once is enough for us. Every day is for the people who don't want to live in the society, who want to live in Himalaya. Okay, because for them they have to get into their conscious layer in the meditative state and all. So for the spiritual practice, it's good to go for the everyday fasting, because like you'll be getting slowly detached from the earth element if you do fasting every day. So it's not advisable. Do once in a week, that is enough.
Okay, so in case of intermittent fasting, so a lot of people do on a daily basis, like they want to inculcate this habit as their lifestyle.
Right.
So, what do you think about that? Is it advisable?
See, like a good question, and it's like also kind of, I mean, my, way of taking this intermittent fasting is a different than the people how they practice it. Probably I'm not arguing about that, but what I understand is we are already doing intermittent fasting from long back. We all have been doing. In night when you're sleeping, you're not having food. You're saying like, I'm, not having food in a first half, or let's say just to overcome that. Basically, in our practice, it's like after 6 and 7 we don't have food. So better you already doing it. Need not to take it as a intermittent fasting. Should have. And also it's also important, like people who are more into work, they are doing hard work with the mind and body, they should not skip breakfast. Breakfast is most important thing and should have early in the morning. But definitely the quality, the quantity, it's all based on the person and their need, but they should go with that. Otherwise, like body is made of anna, that's why it's called annamaya course. So whatever happening with your body, it's all derived by the anna. Anna means the food itself. So cutting down on that is not necessary. But I mean, if someone wants to do it, they can have. There are the other way. I'm telling you, like not intermittent. So let's say if you're doing intermittent fasting, but your food and the combination of food, well, I'll definitely talk about it. So the science about the fasting is it is also talking about how we should have food. More than two items is dangerous for the body. But you're doing fasting, but after that what you're doing, mixing like 5 3 5 4 items in one plate, and then you're damaging yourself. So better work on the quality and the quantity and the technique of having food, because that is source of, basically that is actually keeping your body live. Okay, that's giving you muscles and all this. It should have that. Intermittent fasting is good, and I mean depends on the person, but for me I will prefer pachak. Okay, because I do need strength in my body as well. Like I need these, food should be useful for my body. So I would prefer getting in pachak and then drinking lukewarm water throughout the day than the intermittent fasting where I'm just keeping myself, not having any food in the early morning. I would prefer go for breakfast. And yes, in night, definitely I would try to have food early as possible. Let's say like by 5 or 6 or 7, which is the good. And then the entire day is there for, I mean, entire night is there. Like after that, till morning 7, 12 hours is already there, or maybe 8 or 9, like no, 14 or 16 hours already there. I'm not having any food. And also I'm utilizing my time, not feeling hunger, not disturbing me. I'm sleeping, getting good sleep, and utilizing my time and all this. So this way, I think like it's a smart way of doing it rather than suffering of not having food. Then, so prefer, and also I'll prefer one day or in a week will be enough for me to go for the fasting.
So you would suggest sunrise to sunset rather than skipping the breakfast?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So, yeah, smart way of doing it. I mean, the day where you have to go rush for the meeting and all, where you're not having food or maybe you're supplying very little food, where you need to stand there and need to do some hard work also, right? Food is required there. Your body need energy. So the other part of the other way of taking energy is already there. Like we are doing samak and taking energy from the sunlight and all, but we can't only be on that. That is most, that is useful when you are, getting detached from the earth element. Means we are when you are trying to get detached from the society, being on own. But here, as we are socially living here, there are a lot of different responsibilities. So I would not prefer that.
Okay, and one of my last question would be like, see, in case as a family, I will have different issues that needs to be addressed. My husband will have different issues that needs to be addressed, whereas my kid will have different issues. So which can be addressed through lifestyle changes and the food intake changes. So as a family, how can I bring all their needs into, I cannot prepare three different meals for each for breakfast or afternoon or dinner.
Right.
So is there a way that we can incorporate all three needs in one meal?
Good question. See, as a family, I said this have been in our culture, the fasting culture. Find out a day for everyone. Let's say for you, you have decided one day you'll not have food, or you will have only digestive food. When you are going for the pachak, decide one day for everyone, the same day. Let's say Sunday. I mean, probably Sunday everyone is free. You can say like they do not have much. They're not rushing somewhere. Even kids are there at home. You are there at home, so you can probably prefer pachak. But it's based on, I mean, family need to agree on that, or they want to enjoy it going out. I mean, I'm not saying like cut down on that. I'm saying find out one day, maybe Thursday. Let's say there, give all of them should have the pachak. They should do the pachak fasting type of fasting. Okay, I mean, digest highly digestible food. Change it. At least this we can do altogether. Dalia, khichdi, these are preferable food in the pachak upvas. Okay. Second thing, do not keep salt or do not mix sugar or salt. Keep it aside. For you who can do, can avoid it, let them avoid it. Who can't, as of now, at least they're doing having this highly digestible food. They can mix the salt based on their taste, how much they want. Keep it that way. So simplifying this. Second thing is like masalas we have this, right? Spices we have. The true nature of spices like pepper, you can sprinkle over the food, right? So keep it separate based on the requirement. Whatever you can keep it out, keep it separate. You can let it people choose it, keep it apart, side, and then do prepare food in that way. One thing. Second thing is like see in sodak and samak, what happened? You're not having food, you're having water. Like sodak, heating up the water and then cooling it down, and then you're drinking throughout the day. And then the lemon and the honey is there that you're intaking. Okay. So based on the individuals, you can suggest them based on their days. They can go for a fasting. There, you did not. I mean, there is no challenge for you to get into the kitchen and prepare specific food for them. In fasting, we are not preparing food. We are having it in the easiest manner, in the easiest way, or in this we're keeping it soft and highly digestible, simple. Let's say like in pachak, someday you are making soup, right? You're keeping vegetables, keep one vegetable, only one, not aloo and beans and brinjals all together. Mixed vegetable is not good. All these vegetables having different time, they take different amount of time to get digest and compose, get digest properly, get mixed with. So probably then it will be hard for them because they are going through the fasting. The other days, I'm saying like whatever you're having, start working on it. Slowly get simplified it. Okay. But here, when you're doing fasting, choose one fasting, especially like pachak will be for everyone in the house. Everyone can go for the pachak fasting. That is also enough. If weekly once you're doing, start with the monthly once or twice. Monthly once, then monthly twice, then weekly once. That is enough. But if someone need to cure themselves with the fasting technique, then they have to specify with the other fasting. The power, it's like a different Chandrayan. It's based on the individual. Like whatever food is there, it is there. In Pavak, what happening? You are just cutting down one, basically 1/15th of the food every day. You're having 3 times, but let's say 3 times you are having 1 kg at a one time. I'm just giving an example. No one have 1 kg of food. 1 kg. Now you'll cut down 1/15th of 1 kg in one day. Then second day, 2/15th of 1 kg. Then 3/15th of 1 kg. 4/15th of 1 kg. And last day it will be like 15th of 15th. Done. You are, you know, dividing it in that way. So last 15th day, there is no food, without food. Then 16 days, 1 of 15 you're starting, 2 of 15 now, 3 of 15, 4 of 15, like this, how you're adding up. And then last 30 days, you're exactly 1 kg. And this is you're doing in all the 3 meals. Getting it? So that way you can actually prepare your fasting.
Okay, okay. So other than this, I think our workshop was very interesting because the Vedic and yogic way of seeing fasting, I'm not aware about it. This was quite informative for me. And yeah, thank you for the work.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I do understand like these are not well exposed, socially. Very less people actually knows about it. I mean, in our class, like Malika ji must be knowing few of things. I mean, the technique, probably I have not said about the names, terminology, but probably I have been speaking about these techniques. But this is really, really one of the, I mean, this is complete a subject. I'm telling you, like, even with the fasting, with the technique of fasting, I mean, we are right now on very basic fundamental. We're discussing only fundamental. If we jump deep, I mean, in the fundamental also, I'm giving you some action plan. Like you can start with the Pachak, is the easiest way. And also I told you about 5 things you should take care. Like these 5 things. So take care. Okay. Must get some time, maintain silence, and work out yourself. Okay. Do not get in the hard work, physical work. Avoid it during fasting. This is one of the also important thing. Like in villages, they don't care about it. They get in the physical works and then they damage themselves. Then they don't, the moment they break the fasting, they are feeling themselves again as they have been feeling before. That's what they're bringing all the challenges. Otherwise, if they just, I mean, avoid these things, they will be the most healthiest people on this planet because they have been going through all the fastings, right? We know, right? In village, people they go for, I mean, they do a lot of fastings. So, I mean, because they think like, that it's a tradition here. As we are more professionals, we are in job and all. It's become hard for us to go into these things. But the problem is like the science is not there, and it's all damage. So keep drinking water. All this. So this is all about fasting. Okay, definitely we'll try to get into this more. Probably next time when we are doing, we'll probably get dive into the Upattika. I do understand like how you guys found about the Upattika. Are you really interested in getting into it?
Uh, yeah, still need some time to connect to that. Yeah.
Okay, Upattika.
That concept, yes.
Yes. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah. So I do, I mean, I do understand this. This is when I was learning it, it was mind blowing for me. When I was thinking, I was looking at myself, my body from a different perspective, where I have been looking to, okay, I have these systems, cervical, I'm sorry, basically this nervous system, cardiovascular system, all this. But I rarely, I mean, from this view, I found like, oh, these systems are getting affected by these upattikas only. If I can work out on this, I can treat all this system. Okay. So we'll keep this much for today. Thank you so much for joining and asking all these questions. Have a great day.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.